Hey everyone, just want to tell you a little bit about myself and this channel. My name is Alvin. I've always grown up as a Christian since I was young. My parents were Christians. As far as I can remember, I remember just being a young boy, 8 years old. I just remembered we would have like prayer meetings at our house. My dad would have I guess in today's terms it'd be like a cell group or life group, the little small community groups that you have once a week. I remember people would come over to our place, they'd have a Bible study. Well, I go run around the house with like the other children that they bring over. So I've always grown up in church. And as I got older, I think 14, 15 years old, I remembered the bass player at our church had just graduated college and he was moving to Canada. And I was in a small church, and I remember they just came up to me and goes, "Hey man, you're gonna play bass next week." I said, "I've never picked up a bass guitar. I've never plucked a string or anything." But hey, the music director just kind of taught me what to do, really simple things. And from there on, I've been in like the music worship team all throughout high school. When you're young, you don't drive, so you just go wherever your parents take you. And then every Sunday I was at church. Now at church, of course, I hear the preaching every Sunday. And even at home, my dad would wake up the whole family, me and my sisters, my mom. Like at 5 a.m, we'd have a little we'd have a little like family prayer time where we'd read a chapter from the Bible and he'll pray for the day. But I remember just as a child, you really don't care. You're just like, it's a prayer time. It's 5 a.m. You're asleep while, my dad tried to explain to us what the Bible was trying to say. But even though we weren't catching it, we were able to be familiar with the stories of the Bible. So, and even at 5 a.m, that was in the morning. And at night, like when the sun's about to go down, like 7 or 8 or 6 or whenever, he'd gather us again for another prayer and we'd read another chapter. So like morning time, we'd read a chapter from, like, say, the Old Testament. And at night, we'd read a chapter from the New Testament. And I say all that just to say I am still not an expert on the Bible. I'm sharing all that just to let you know, like, I've grown up, reading the Bible and all that stuff. And as I grew older, got into college, you start maturing, you start thinking for yourself. You go to school, you get education, you learn about science. There came a point where, I start questioning about the legitimacy of the Bible, the story. I've questioned my faith a few times. As a matter of fact, I think everyone should question their faith. Make sure you're choosing the ones that you believe that is good for you, because there's a few times where I guess in the Christian world they call it backslidden, but there's a few times where I kind of backslid. I'm like, is this real? Is this whole Christianity thing real? But yeah, even as I grew older, I had to like talk to myself in my own head, like, I'm gonna choose to believe in Jesus. Like, I'm gonna choose it. And this channel, I just want to talk about, it's going to be about what I see in the church, what I learn in the church, and what I learn in life. A lot of the time, sometimes the things they teach in church and the things I experience in life, or what I learn in life, just through living in this world, it contradicts. And I have this mental struggle, like, whoa, if the pastor says this, but in my world I see this, or I hear this, what do I believe? That's kind of like what life is, like a mental struggle, right? It's a battle of ideas. It's a battle for your thought, a battle for your mind. So this channel, gonna I'm gonna share my thoughts, my experiences, what I think like the Bible is saying, or what I think the world is showing, whether it aligns with God or not. The question, like, it's basically my opinion. You don't have to agree with everything I say or everything I utter in this channel, because I think it's important for everybody to kind of sit back, reflect on your belief system, on everything. Just make sure you don't just believe something because somebody else is telling you to believe it, but it's because it's what you want to believe, and you feel it in your heart. You know it in your heart, like this is it. But that is going to be what this channel is about. So if anybody ever comes back to this very first video, once again, this channel is just the things I kind of learned beyond the church, outside of the church. Because sometimes I think when people becomes too Christian, you're so engulfed in the church life, the Christianity life, you kind of forget that we are still living in this world filled with normal people, with normal feelings, normal emotions, normal problems. And sometimes what people need is not just like, oh, I'll pray for you. Sometimes people need actual, real, legitimate solutions. I've grown up with church people, and I've had friends who are not in church. I've dealt with people outside of the world, of this world, and the church. So hopefully this video, this channel, can, hopefully one or two of you can find it helpful, what I'm sharing. And plus, I just want to look back at it in the future. Well, I can see, what I believed or what I thought at the time, and how my thought process have changed. But thanks for coming. Thanks for visiting this channel. Enjoy the videos. Let me know if you disagree with something. If you agree with anything, I'll try to read them. We're all just in this life together, trying to learn, trying to progress, and trying to get better. So beyond the church is where I'm gonna try to kind of mix Christianity, what I learned in church, spirituality, and the world. Thank you, guys.